Oh, make sure it's on internal microphone, and yep, all right. So tonight I thought I would show you all around and just let's see what the demand, I mean, for going out on Saturday night looks like in New York. Some of you asked, you know, if traffic is kind of returned. As you can see, it's a Saturday night and the parking is almost full on the block. Not completely full, but almost full, which is really this hasn't been happening for a while. Like on the weekend, you could find legal parking on the street, which usually is impossible, but it has been happening as of for the last year. But now it's kind of back to a little bit kind of normal. The area over here is never really crazy busy. It's usually in the West and East Village, which I'll go through and take a look at with you all. I thought it'd be kind of fun to check it out. By the way, I got rid of the cover on this camera. I was curious if the lens cover was causing the blurriness. It wasn't. But it does sometimes cause it to focus on a piece of dust that will get stuck on the lens cover or inside of it, and it's just nah. So I thought we'd just kind of take a look around and see what everything looks like on the Saturday night. I'm not going to be able to go as fast as I like. This motor is starting to stall when I push it, or just every now and then at random intervals. So this motor has seen better days. I've opened it up to clean all the shit out of it a few times. This is the one that actually went on fire on the other Yuba bike. So it was next to a battery fire. I looked it up, lithium battery fires. Love this person walking towards me in the bike lane. That's typical New York. But there's it's somewhere around, like, I think 500 or 600 Celsius. So this motor had a good 600 Celsius for a good, 5 or 6 minutes. And it survived. And it worked. And it was fast. And it was great. And you notice, like a week and a half ago, it kind of started to take a shit. And I don't know. I kind of got tired of messing with my bike, so I haven't really made the time to work on it and take everything apart and fix it. I don't know what it is. It's like a switch flipped in my head, and I just lost all desire to screw with it. Like, I just, I go through these times where I'm really excited to tinker on my own stuff, and then where it's just, if it doesn't work, I'll, I give up. I'll buy a new one. I just won't use it. Like, it's usually one extreme or the other. Like, I'm constantly messing with it, or I just give up and don't want to mess with it at all. A lot of, as you can see, we still have a lot of this outdoor dining atrocity over here. You cannot get COVID in a shed on the side of the road, but you will get COVID in a restaurant that has the windows open and a ventilation system. It's just like... So this area is still pretty dead. This area is still pretty dead. So we're going to check up on the West Village, take a look, see what that looks like. Anyway, a lot of you have been asking how things have been going with the 501c4. So we got the GoFundMe past $400,000 today. So I want to say thank you to all of you for that. And there was a $100,000 direct wire transfer made by a very kind benefactor that wanted to remain anonymous. So you know who you are, and thank you very much for that. So there was that's $500K. So some people have been asking about the options, the thoughts as to moving forward. So one of the things I said is that a lot of you suggested that I figure out how to do a direct ballot thing to avoid having to deal with politicians, because you can do that. And then you asked, I don't know what the hell they're doing at 11 o'clock over there. It just, I guess, normal teenage stupidity over here. But there's what was I saying? Okay, that guy has cool lights in his bike. I'm kind of jealous. Yeah, it was like multicolored. That was cool. I don't know if you guys could see that. If you wait, you can, because it's a 360 camera. You can just drag around once YouTube decides to process the damn video. It takes them a good 4 days to process a single video. 4 days from the point that I upload it to the point that it is published and people can view it. Yeah. So we got three possibilities. Behind door number one, we go for the direct ballot initiative and the whole $5 to $20 million thing, and we get the money and we do it. Behind door number two, we don't make that much money, and we go for direct ballot initiative against the advice of the people who have done this successfully, and most likely get creamed, get our ass kicked, because I make just enough money to do signatures, and then, you know, I get creamed because I don't have the ability to advertise and do the polling and all that shit. Behind door number 3, you admit that you don't have enough money to do direct ballots successfully, and just do standard, fuck you, standard normal lobbying. Standard normal lobbying work. You know, what I mean by standard lobbying instead of direct ballot. Yes, I am. I know, I'm going around you. I don't get people. He's kind of yelling, go around me, but I don't know. It's New York. People are assholes here. Everybody's an asshole here usually. And, you know, I'm kind of an asshole, so I kind of fit in here. That could be the true red pill. Is that I don't like it here, but because of my personality, I actually fucking fit in here. Well, who knows? You know, I always kind of wonder, like, if I moved out of New York, would I be less of an asshole? Like, would it shed? Or is it too deeply ingrained because I've lived here for 32 years? 33 coming up soon. Yeah. So the third option would be, when I say standard lobbying, what I'm talking about is we go and try to get a bill passed the old-fashioned way, which is, you know, you go to the legislature, you go to all the senators, assembly people, representatives, and say, this is something we think people want, and then we get a bunch of people to visit their own representatives, and then a bill finally gets put into, you know, the whole process, and then the bill becomes a law. All right, it's starting to get a little bit busy over here. You can see it's a little bit busier. We got this restaurant out here. Got the outdoor dining to my right, although granted, I will give this a solid, I will give this a solid 9 out of 10 outdoor for the fact that it has ventilation. This has some ventilation going on over there, so I'll give it, no, not a 9, that's too much. They have a fucking roof and walls. I'll give it a 7 out of 10 outdoor dining, 7 out of 10. Right. So, you know, you go through the normal process. And in that process, you still deal with politicians that will say no, but keep in mind, my lobbying budget used to be $0. A lobbying budget of $500,000, that opens up some doors that are not open when your lobbying budget is 0. And then you just leverage the, you know, the power of the people and getting people to actually show up to hearings instead of it just being me and 2 or 3 other people, which is what always typically fucking happens. And, you know, me making it my job to show up at every single repair shop and say, hey, mofo, you're showing up here, you know, on the 7th, whatever the date is of the hearing, and you're all going to go talk to your representatives, and I'm going to drag you out of this shop, and everybody in this state I'm going to drag out of their shop to show up on this lobby day. Pay actual lobbyists to speak to politicians, to go over all the fear-mongering bullshit they hear from the opposition lobbyists, and go from there. Yeah, so it's getting a bit busier in this area, as you can see. That's a Tesla Model Y, and you can tell that he got the expensive one because of the wheels. I don't know why I noticed that now that I know that about the wheels. But apparently with Tesla, you can pay $1,500 to $2,000 more to have wheels that actually give you less range. I shit you not. I'm going to stare you down. You want to stare at me? I stare you down. He was trying to do the staring contest thing. Staring in New York City is an act of aggression, and if someone does it, you stare them down until you win. Get those Superman eyes going on. Laser vision. Yeah. So this is the funniest thing. This is one of the interesting things about Tesla that I learned. So you can pay $1,500 to $2,000 more for the fancier wheels. You get less range. It's crazy. So not only I thought it'll be the other way around. You pay money. So they have this thing called, I think, Aero and induction wheels. If you get the Aero wheels, they're cheaper, and you get, I think, 10 or 20 miles more range. If you get the induction wheels, not only do you have to pay an additional $1,500 to $2,000, you get less fucking range. It's crazy. It's this inverse benefit. It's like you actually pay money just to be able to have a status symbol on your car that says you paid more money for it that has no point to it. Like, I get if you pay for the upgrade to have more range, I get that. If you pay to have it faster, okay, I'm more for the more range than the more speed, but I get it. To pay more money, to have wheels on your vehicle that lose you range, it blows my fucking mind. I will never get it. And you can see the restaurants are starting to get a little bit more busy here. So yeah, you know, if I could do the normal lobbying thing, and that seems to be the area that we're going here, because about 2.5 weeks in, I'm at about I have reached approximately 8% of my goal, and my goal was on the low end of what would have been necessary to kind of be hyper successful. Now, some people have come out and said, hey, I looked at what they spent to do the right to repair direct ballot initiative in Massachusetts, and it appears that a lot of that money went to a company called Gray Media. Because you can actually look all this up in the campaign finance office, you could see it. So a company called Gray Media got, of that 25 million, it was somewhere in the 20 to 22 million range. So some people have come to me and said, listen, I get it that you would want to use this company because, or this firm, because they have an amazing track record. They've gotten all their ballot initiatives that I know have passed, and they got right to repair going twice. But the thing here is, are they being a bit boomerish with it? By the way, I know you're not supposed to ride in the sidewalk. I just kind of want to check this block out because this is near the East Village, and I'm not gonna hit anybody. So don't worry. See, stay on the side of the road. Nice guy. Not gonna hit anybody. But I want to check out the other side. We go slow. It's a good thing I got my fast reflexes so I don't hit anybody. So that restaurant seems pretty poppin'. They got indoor dining going on. They must have a pass from Cuomo or something, or some blackmail on them. Probably hit on the waitress or some shit. Or the owner. The owner said, I'll bring my story to the Post unless you let us stay open. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass here. Absolutely talking out of my ass here. Yeah, but you got a lot more people out now than before. I haven't looked into what's been up with Cuomo. What's been going on with him. All the shit that he's been going through politically for the last month and a half. Man, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy, you know? Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. So yeah, people have been looking at that, and hey, it's a good question. I think it's an excellent question. So of a $25 million campaign, $22 or $23 million went to Gray Media. What does Gray Media do? And can you do what Gray Media does without spending $22 million? Now, I'm not trying to be a cheapskate. I don't want to go up to people and do what my customers do to me. I don't want to go, come on, how hard is it to really find PM Sleep S4L? It's not going to cost $250. You're just running a wire, blah, blah, blah. Like, I've been on the other end of that shit for 13 years. I understand what it's like to be on the other end of that. I don't want to, I don't want to, you know, be the asshole that's doing that. But we raised $500K out of the 6 million that was on the low end of the 5 to 20 million that's kind of needed anyway. So you see where I'm going with this? Like, I kind of have to think like that now. Now, the other reason I have to weigh whether or not it makes sense to go for direct ballot, as opposed to making a really, really aggressive run on normal bills in the states, paying lobbyists, getting people to actually be active, getting people to show up to their legislature, going to these repair shops in every single town, having dinner with all of them, you know, taking them out, talking to them, figuring out what their needs are, making sure a bill that we propose actually meets their needs, earning their respect, getting them to show up to, with us, going to the, you know, the colleges and all that in the town, getting the people politically active in right to repair and doing all that, is if you lose a direct ballot initiative, and here's the important thing, you will never get a bill passed. Because here's the thing. Here's the way this works. So you can see this. Yeah, honestly, there's not a lot of people going out right now. I mean, you see that people are out for Saturday night, but this does not look anything like what it used to a year or 2 years ago from the bike videos I used to do. This is pretty dead. Looking pretty dead. But we'll see. This is like West Broadway. There's not a lot of people out here. Let's check out like Rivington, Ludlow, that area. That's where that's what I like to call Never Neverland, because even after you have people that turn like 40, 50, 60 and they're still going out and getting drunk and wasted and shit on a Friday or Saturday night as if they're kids. It's that's kind of the area where people that, you know, never really grow out of that stuff tend to go. So here's the thing. So right now I'm making the argument that this is something that people really want. People really want right to repair. This is going to help consumers. It's going to help small business. It's going to help repair shops. But on the other side of the aisle, money, large companies and money. So there's that risk-reward shit going on there, right? However, if I lose a direct ballot approach, what I'm doing at that point is I'm telling them, hey, not only am I going against the other side that has the money and the political clout, but people don't even want this. And if I lose a direct ballot initiative because I'm not able to get my point across, then I'm at a point where not only did I lose the direct ballot initiative, but I've also lost the ability to get a bill passed in that state. If I propose a right to repair bill and it gets voted down by the people. Because here's the thing, when we're talking about getting this type of legislation passed, we're usually talking about all these normal everyday people want it, but then the lobbyists from the large corporations come in and it winds up just getting killed like it always does. So it's, you know, this people versus the large company thing. If you lose a direct ballot initiative, you will never, ever, ever get a bill passed. Because now it's the large corporations don't want it, the lobbyists don't want it, and people don't want it. Like, your bill is dead. So that's something that has to be considered. I also admittedly kind of, how I put this? I'm gonna try to tell the truth here, and I underestimated how difficult it is to get on large podcasts and shows. So I got Gamers Nexus willing to talk to me. I got Ben Heck willing to talk to me. And literally, like, that's it. That's it. I went through that list of people that you all suggested that I contact in some of the last video streams that I did. And of that list of people, after several emails, tweets, and some occasions phone calls when phone numbers were available, or mostly email, I have not heard shit. So I'm not really. I'm gonna find a PR person this week, someone that I've been talking to since last September, when I wanted to make a more, quote, legitimate effort at this. But yeah, a big part of the problem is that I don't know how to play the whole influencer card properly. I haven't really done a lot in terms of collaborations, mostly because collaborations are typically, I don't know how to say this without sounding like an asshole. Collaborations are usually artificially created content. So two people come together that want to do a collaboration, and they say, okay, what's a video that will get views, that what may have a good story behind it or people care, and then they kind of fabricate a story. And like, my channel has not really been a fabricated story. It's been the reality of the clusterfuck of my own life. You know, here's me trying to get a bill passed and failing and getting laughed out of the legislature by Ernie Chambers and the other person, I forget, Epk something in Nebraska. Or, here's me trying to hire a contractor, and oh look, it's an arsonist that screwed me over. Here's me looking for a new store space and someone lying about the size of the space and all that shit. Uh-oh. I kind of want to see what it looks like on the other side of town. That's why I'm not taking the usual bike path to the bridge over there. I just want to see what the East Village looks like. I'm a little bit homesick for it. So I kind of wanted to circle around. So, you know, this channel has really just kind of been the... It's not an electronics channel, and it's not a vlog channel, it's not a business channel, I don't know. It's kind of the story of my screwed up attempt at living my life. And so I don't really have a lot of stuff that, you know, I don't really have, there's not really collaboration to it. It's just I have an idea for a rant, I hit record, and I go. And that's usually it. So I don't really know the formula for that whole collaboration thing. I'm not really the most social person to begin with. A lot of you have been saying, yeah, Joe, go on this guy's show, go on that guy's show, go on this guy's show. And it's like, I mean, you know, that dude's talking to like presidential candidates and celebrities. I fix MacBooks. I'm not that important. Alright, so we got a nice stench of weed over here, so there's that. Not much recovered demand. So right past there is where Never Neverland starts. I used to like this place called Wolf Nights. I shouldn't say used to like. I still like it. They make amazing wraps. I just haven't really gone as much. When I used to walk home, I used to go to this place called Wolf Nights. It's the only place to get nutritious food that's open at 1 a.m. on a weeknight. Like nutritious food, not a deli sandwich, not fucking Kennedy's Fried Chicken, not some shitty $1 pizza spot, but like actual nutritious food that your body will say please, you know, please and thank you for. It's called Wolf Nights. It's down here, I think, on Rivington and Ludlow. Oh, that place is so good. They should, like, I hope they stay in business throughout the pandemic. I hope that Cuomo and de Blasio didn't bankrupt them, because their food is so good. I remember I would go there. They would get owned by Grubhub orders, and what a lot of the restaurants do is, because the Grubhub orders are the ones that can easily cancel and file chargebacks, they do those first, and that's where they're getting. So I would sit there for like an hour and a half waiting for a wrap, And I'd watch them make all these Grubhub orders, and sometimes I'd be a dick and look at the receipts, and I'd see, this guy's order came in 20 minutes after I got here. What the But still, it's so fucking good. It's so good. It's worth it. It was actually worth waiting an hour for a wrap. Oh man, that place is amazing. So this is Never Never Land over here, otherwise known as the Lower East Side. So this is, East Village is that way. This is the Lower East Side, and okay, it looks like demand is starting to return. Looks like, you know, people are going out and partying and doing their shit. I rate, you know, okay, this is some real outdoor dining over here. Check this shit out. That's actually outdoor. That's like a 10 out of 10 outdoor. Maybe a 7 or an 8. I give this a 10 out of 10 outdoor. I give this a 9 out of 10 outdoor. Yeah, they got their outdoor going on here. This is actually outdoor. But you got, yeah, so there's people going out. People are going out. They're eating with people, commingling. Yeah, I mean, it's been a year since the whole 2-week to stop the spread thing at this point, so I imagine that people are going to be going out a little bit more than they were before. You know, because it's like, what, like 58 or 60 weeks into 2 weeks to stop the spread now? Okay. Hello. So this is some fancy schmancy building to my left. Oh, come on. Even with a stalled and broken motor, I gotta be honest, I much prefer riding around on a bike than I do in a car. Car is good because it gets you out of New York. And getting out of New York is key. Someday, that will take me far, far away on a nice vacation somewhere. But it's kind of nice to be able to ride around stuff and be outside. And yeah, this is interesting traffic. It was not like this even just a few months ago, even on Saturday night. Demand is returning. The people are not staying. Hey, another BBS HD, but he's using the stock controller and a triangle pack, so you know he's not going to be able to go over 20 or 25 amps. I mean, not a shark pack. Yeah, the ability to do this is really something that is. Yeah, I like being able to do this. I don't feel like waiting all day. Let's see if Wolf Knights is still open. So I said Ludlow and Rivington. This is Ludlow and Stanton. Kind of curious. Maybe I pick up a wrap for Erica before I go home. Let's see. This traffic is fucking stupid. Okay. What the f... Yeah, there's a lot of people. God damn. Oh, fuck. I was gonna go around the car traffic, but I got stuck by the outdoor dining. Quote, outdoor dining. God damn it. They're going that way, so I can't go out that way. I was gonna re-enter the street, but jeez. Yeah, so you got a lot more people. I never speak to you again either, don't worry about it. Okay. Is Wolf Knights open? Please tell me Wolf Knights is still open. We're coming up on it. I'm actually scared. I'm actually scared right now. That's one of the few... That's a lot of corona spreading over there. I love this. You could see that dude sneeze like 10 times with his mask down. Mask around the chin. That's the way we do it, baby. Mask around the chin. Mask around the chin. No! Oh, please don't tell me you went out of business. Please, I will close my repair shop and open this. No. Okay, open restaurant program, reopening of restaurant, outdoor dining. No way. It's not even that late. Let's see, on Saturday, you close at 5 a.m. Oh, son of a... No way. This place was legitimately the best restaurant in like a 1 mile radius. And you can get your food here for like $8, $6, $7 bucks. $7 for a wrap. It's beautiful. Fucking asshole. You can tell that guy has a tiny penis because he had to make everybody deaf with his shitty car. It probably... Anyway. What is this? Yeah, very small dick over there. Anyway, look at... Wolf Nights. Inspection date. Okay, that's 2019. This is bull. Oh, this is so sad. Please tell me you didn't go out of business. Please tell me you're just like somebody called in sick or something. That's one thing in New York City that'll actually be sad about being gone. Shit. You're not gonna find a place like that in another state. I've traveled. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's freaking traffic again. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know how people deal with this shit. I laugh when people say, well, Lewis, when are you gonna grow up and get a car? Why, so I can be like this? Really? That is fucking miserable. Having to be stuck in that shit. Look at them all honking at each other like dumbasses. Assuming that I'm making a noise is gonna make the 4,000 pounds of shit in front of them move when there's another 4,000 pounds of shit in front of them. It's just ridiculous. It's like they're all mad at each other and raging all the time because there's not enough space for all these fucking tanks to be driving around. There is not enough space here to have a tank after tank after tank. If everybody were on something like this, everything would be moving way faster. Even with the stall! Like, I have an engine that fucking stalls and I could still get ahead of all these people. It's just strategically so much superior. Okay. Woohoo! Alright. Suckers! Alright. Wrong way, do not enter. Yeah, about that. You're supposed to go around here and then get smashed into by that fucking thing over that metal piece in the middle of it. Yeah, screw that. Alright, we are on the Williamsburg bike path. Bridge bike path. So yeah, there's a lot, as you can see, there's a lot more people in New York City now than there were before. Granted, it's mostly, kids going out for their drinks and their fun and all that. But the traffic has also increased. Again, like, I remember, doing my travels home. There was never traffic at home like that on Saturday night during the pandemic. So we're very much getting to the, similar traffic at pre-COVID levels where you had people blocking the way and having to get on the sidewalk and shit if you go down the wrong side street unless you want to stay there all day. And who the hell wants to stay there all day? I sure don't. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting coming up with strategy. A, pray for a miracle in the next few months that actually gets me to my goal. B, go for direct ballot initiative when you probably don't even remotely have the amount of money to do it properly, and wing it. Okay, let's see what gray media would do for, 4 to 18 million bucks, but let's do it ourselves. Or C, just lobby for bills in existing states. Lobby for bills in existing states seems to be the way to go. I think I said in that GoFundMe, if I don't make this goal, I would just lobby for bills the way that you usually do. But instead of it just being me showing up in a cheesy polo shirt and Nautica khakis with my camera, I will have lobbyists working on the case in each state for, a year or so before it even gets to the point of a hearing. And then after the hearing and, do the work that they're supposed to do. Get grassroots support from ordinary, everyday people. Because if you do direct ballot and you lose, you are donezo. I believe I could win if I'm even remotely in the running. But the other problem is that you have bills in some states that they're decent, but they're worded in a manner where it could be conceived that what we're asking for is a tool to reset passwords, but more importantly, it's worded in a way where you may still not get schematics or chips. If the bill says you provide us with everything that you provide your authorized repair provider, you're still kind of fucked. This video I did a while back, what does authorized repair do? Let's find out. Or I put a plugin on my voice that deepens it so you couldn't recognize me, and I call a bunch of Apple authorized places. And it's very obvious what they give their authorized repair centers access to. You get access to a cardboard box and a shipping label that allows you to send the device back to them so that they can recycle it and give you another one, a refurbished one. If you have a bad charging port on a phone, they were just, oh yeah, there's time to toss the phone and give you another one. It's ridiculous. So getting access to what the authorized repair has access to, or what Jess is suggesting, is not calling them authorized, it's calling them branded repair, because that's what they are. It's not, you know, it's not, I refuse to even accept those terms as to who is authorized and not authorized to fix something. You can gargle my balls if you think you have the ability to authorize me to repair something. Fuck that. But it's branded. You have their logo. That's it. You have the logo of the manufacturer. Branded repair. But what branded repair often does is just throw this shit out and give you another one. It's bullshit. You know, another thing about a bike versus a car, I don't feel like I have to pay attention the same way with the bike that I do in a car, for a few reasons. The first is that a bike or a motorcycle, there's no such thing as a blind spot. It's like on a car, you have that shit that sits between, I forget what it's called, the thing that sits between your passenger door windows and your windshield, that blinds you. You can't just turn your head and see around you as easily because you have all this stuff that blinds you, but mainly, a car is so big that it is incredibly simple for someone to run. How about this? It's easier to hit something because it's so large. Like with this, I can evade really quickly. I could do this. Someone jumps in front of me, I do this. If you're a car and you're going down a space of this size, you don't really have a lot of room to zig or zag. With this, I can do this, I can do this, I can boom. It's much more flexible. And people do have a tendency to attempt suicide by car in New York City. Holy crap, I should record it sometime. Just like driving down the road. I don't get how people, like on a bike, I'm willing to go over the speed limit. I could go 10, 20 miles an hour over the speed limit on this road and feel totally comfortable and fine. With a car, it's like people are constantly jumping in front of it. And where do you go? Like if someone were to jump in front of this car, I could do this. But on inside of a car, it's much more difficult to do this, to swerve and not hit into something than it is on a bike when you combine it with the blind spots and all that. Like, I would feel comfortable doing 45 miles an hour on this road even though the speed limit's 20. In a car, 22, maybe 21. I wouldn't go fast. There's no place to hide. You can't hide. You can't really pull and do something. I will say it was nice when I had a 25-mile trip to make the other day and it was raining, to be dry. That was nice. Like, I'm not used to that. I had a 25-mile trip to make, and I made the trip, and I was completely dry. Like, when I got to my destination, dry. When I got home, I was as dry as, I don't know, most of the women that I dated in the past after they got to know me. Like, it was really... It was a nice thing to be spoiled by. That realization that, wait a second, I can go outside and not get soaked, even if I'm traveling a long distance. Or I don't need to wear heated gloves if it's cold outside to avoid frostbite, because the temperature is set inside of this little tank. That's one of the benefits of the tank over the bicycle. Like when it's 17 degrees outside and raining, man, it sucks when it's like freezing rain. Oh, freezing rain on a bike sucks balls so bad. And people have said, your traction is really bad, or it's much easier to slip on the road. No, in a car it really isn't. I mean, I guess if you have to brake really fast, maybe. It's also funny that I'm used to doing anti-lock braking manually, because I'm on a bike. If you just immediately hit the brakes, I already learned what happens when you hit. If something like that happens, you go over a piece of oil, you hit brakes, you get concussion. So lesson learned the hard way there. So no, don't you dare. Okay, good. So what I've learned is to, I brake very rapidly, and so that the wheel doesn't spin. And I actually find myself, this is so dumb, actually doing that in a car, even though cars have had anti-lock braking for like 30 years now. But when it's slippery outside, yeah, you still have to drive a lot more carefully in a car than when it's sunny out, you know, when it's slippery and rainy. For sure, you got to be careful. But it's way different being on 4 wheels than on 2, because if you slip, you don't fall. You know, there's been so many times that it's been raining really hard, and I make a, you know, I go over this oil slick in the road, and I have to recatch my bike so that I don't skid out like crazy, and that's so annoying. In a car, all you really have to worry about is the visibility. Visibility and what's the... and you know, just make sure you don't go too fast, because stopping is going to be difficult. Someone gave me shit for using autopilot in bad weather. I don't get it. Autopilot sees better than you in bad weather. If you're not able to see a marker on the road very clearly, like that thing does. I don't get how some shitty little 720p camera covered in water is able to see better than me. Really kind of makes me sad for the whatever technology is inside my eyeball, but it does. Alright, I don't think I'm going to be able to keep up with cars like I usually do on this stretch, because my motor is stalling. So there's probably going to be people that pass me dangerous. Let's see if I... Yeah, fuck. Motor stalled. Shit. I got to go on the side of the road. Or let's see if I can pedal fast enough that nobody passes me. Really. Gah, fuck. Alright, there's a good spot here that I can use. I really should fix this. I'm just being a lazy degenerate and not repairing this issue. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3. Switch it back on. And I wait. Yeah, I really gotta fix this stalling crap. It's killing me. Lower my gear a little bit. Ooh, you're in an only bus lane. I'm telling. By the way, for those who are wondering, I am going a little bit over the speed limit right now. So those, I know someone's going to say, why aren't you going faster? I'm already over. No. No death. So. And I stalled again, did I? Boo. It's not too far. I'll just pedal the rest of the way. Go to the side of the road so I won't be able to go too fast. And this will be a good time to end the stream. Alright. That is a fancy schmancy apartment building across the street. I bet it costs twice as much as mine just because it has fancy schmancy windows. I never understood building the fancy schmanciest apartments in the poorest of the neighborhoods. I'm not against building fancy schmancy apartments. I'm just kind of curious, like, what's the point? You're building something that most people in this neighborhood won't afford, and the people who can afford it will probably go and live somewhere else. So it's always been kind of strange to see, you know, that kind of fancy schmancy-ish looking shit. Anyway, see you all later.